Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink and another card for my Valentine series. So I am starting off with some smooth white cardstock here, and I have this Studio Katia stamp set. This is the Sweetheart Candy stamp set. I think this was released last year, maybe even before that, I'm not sure. I've had it for some time, and it's just this cute set with a solid heart and an outline heart, and then two little face options, and then a whole ton of sentiments, very similar to the Conversation Hearts candy. So of course that's what I was going for by basically creating my own pattern paper. I have several kind of pale pastel colors. These are all little MFT ink cubes. You guys are going to see me using more of these because I actually stayed up even later than usual the one night and labeled the tops of all of them. Yeah, with their inks, I find it's easier. Like, I like to see the names of them. So I labeled them and I organized them all in rainbow order. So I'm like reaching for them more often now. So I stamped all these solid hearts just kind of randomly across this background in all of those colors. And then started pulling off almost all the sentiments from this set because I wanted the variety. And those I'm inking up and stamping with red ink because Conversation Hearts, the candy, like the lettering on them is red. So stamped this whole background. Didn't take too long. My crazy sleeves you guys kind of see here and there throughout this video. I was wearing my ridiculous pajamas when I was making this because again, it was late at night and I was in my really fuzzy, comfy, warm pink pajamas that have hot cocoa cups all over them. Anyway, it's better than my bathrobe. Anywho, so after I was done that, I decided I wanted to kind of fill in some of the open spaces. So I'm using the little outline heart images from the Kobi's Hugs and Kisses stamp set, which I'm also going to use for my main image. But I just stamped those with that same red ink just to kind of fill everything in. That was kind of my exception because I was thinking of going with splatter and decided to just stamp hearts instead. So after I did that, I have now this is Neenah Classic Crest 80-pound solar white cardstock. This is my go-to cardstock for coloring with Copic markers. And I'm inking up the bear, like the Kobi bear image, and then this separate heart with the little hands image from the Kobi's Hugs and Kisses set. And I used MFT's new Extreme Black ink. It's, like I said in my last video, this is a great ink. I'm really liking it. And it's on par with my other two favorite inks that I like to use for alcohol-based markers, which is the Simon Says Intense Black and the Hero Arts Intense Black. These three inks are kind of, I would say, on the same level. So you guys will just see me kind of go back and forth because just for me, I like to show variety. I do have people ask me a lot with different things like, do I need all these things? No, average crafters don't need near what I have. I get more to show the variety. I like to test things out to see, which is the best. And then if I'm interchanging things and using for the same things like a black ink for Copic markers or an ink for embossing or whatever, it's just to show that they work the same. So I'm using the Extreme Black because it's still new and I'm excited to keep trying it out. But you can see it stamps great and it does not smear at all when using Copic markers. So I colored in my little bear image. I just have the numbers there listed on the screen. And yeah, blended them all out. Super, super simple. Nothing too fancy blending wise. And then for the heart, these three colors don't, like the first two kind of blend decently together. The lightest one was almost too light. And when that happens and it's not really blending, like you have that really big difference between the dark and the light, I either scribble the marker onto an acrylic block like I did. That was the middle color, the RV11. And then I pick it up with the lightest, the RV91. Or you can do the other method, which is just touching the tip of the lightest marker to the medium one. And that just helps to kind of blend that little transition there between the darkest and lightest and smooths it out. And then as it dries, you'll see it just has that perfect smooth blend that that's why Copic markers are so popular, because you get that smooth, gorgeous blend. So after I was done on my coloring, I took my white gel pen, added a few little highlights to the bear and to the heart, just gives it that little extra bit of something. And then I'm going to tape my dies into place. There's a coordinating die set for this. So before I get to that though, I'm going to quickly stamp one of the sentiments from the Hugs and Kisses set. So I'm going to stamp that with that same Intense Black ink. So just making sure I've got that stamped. And then I'm going to tape the dies into place with washi tape. I always either use, washi tape or some micropore tape, just something to hold these dies so that they do not move. And again, lots of people asking about, because we're so used to cutting everything die face down. You have your cutting mat, your paper, your die face down. And I've been using the new GEMINI Junior in my videos, and a lot of people asking. So this is how you can do that. You just assemble it just like you normally would. So paper, die face down on the cutting mat. Then I had my magnetic sheet, the little plastic shim, the other cutting mat, and then I just flipped it over and put it through the way it was intended to be. That's what I was talking about in my last video. So again, I can do more in-depth videos. I'm loving the machine so far, still using it. FYI, this coordinating die for the bear, you can see it actually cuts right around his little arms there, so you can tuck in so he can be holding things, and it literally cuts like right on the line. So you want to make sure you line up that die. But I was just showing you can, tuck the little, there's a bouquet of flowers in the set, or a little like chocolate box of chocolates, a little heart box, or just whatever random little things you would like to tuck in to make it look like he's holding. I love that. And yet, because it cuts right on the line, you can choose not to. Like when you're looking at it right now, you can't even tell that the arms have that cut around them. So it just gives you the option. But for this, I chose to use the separate heart, and you'll see what I do with it in a second here. So I cut a square of vellum with the Dotted Patterns Nested Square Wafer Dies from Studio Katia. And then I adhered my bear to the vellum with my tape runner. And then I ran adhesive behind the bear so you don't see it through the vellum. And then to attach this heart, I'm using a little mini action wobble here. And I'm going to stick that into place. That's going to pop up this heart and allows it to kind of move around, because I just thought that would be like a cute little touch. You could either just glue it on, or you could pop it up with some foam tape if you wanted, but the action wobble just gives it that little extra something and makes it look like he's shaking it back and forth, which I just love. These images are so cute, and the Studio Katia has a couple other sets. Like there was a Christmas set that I never got a chance to use, and a really cute birthday set with this bear. They're just fun. So now I've got that attached to my card. And then my card base is some heavyweight white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 11. So it's a top folding A2 sized card. And I'm stamping another sentiment from the Hugs and Kisses set with that extreme black ink. And then I was just about to stamp the rest of the sentiment in the red, and then decided before doing that to ink up that solid heart again with the light pink ink, just to, tie it all in with the front of the card. So I'm going to stamp that with the light pink ink, and then I'm going to stamp the sentiment over it with the red ink. And then once that's stamped, I pulled out those 3 little outline hearts again, just to kind of finish off the inside of the card. So I'm going to just stamp those onto the inside of the card, and then I can get to adhering my card front to my card base. So because that action wobble was already on the card front, I had to be kind of careful trying to apply my adhesive here and holding everything down. In hindsight, I would have added the action wobble at the end of the card. It just makes things easier. But it wasn't too difficult, so I applied my tape runner to the back of my card front, and then I can adhere that to my card base. And the great thing about this is, because I didn't use any foam tape or anything, this card's actually quite flat, and I'll show at the end how that heart, the action wobble, completely flattens, so you can just pop this into a regular envelope. Because of the action wobble and the crystals I'm adding, I always like to add like just an extra piece of cardstock on top just to protect it and to keep it from getting too squished and like marring the cover of my cards or the front of my cards. So the crystals, of course, it's the Cupid's Kiss and the Mint Dream crystals from Studio Katia. And I wanted to give this another run. This Simon Says, here I'm dropping it, Craft Tacky Glue. I like that it has a flat, the lid for it is like really wide and flat. So I've been keeping it stored upside down on my desk. I like that. It makes it a lot easier to squeeze. And it dries quickly, and it dries clear, and it dries matte. So I'm liking it. And it's a little bit tackier, I would say, than like the multimedia matte I usually use, etc. So it holds on to jewels a lot easier. So far, again, I'm really liking it. So that finishes off this card. Make sure to check out my blog post. I have a very big giveaway going on to, again, celebrate my 60,000 YouTube subscribers. And this is a big one courtesy of Studio Katia. So you'll have to check out my blog to see that. And yeah, there will also be links to all the supplies used and pictures and everything else. So that'll be in the description box below the video. So you can check that out if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.